Hi, welcome back to another short episode from the eSignatureHome team. I'm Steve Matthews.
I'm Justice Haga, and we are glad to be with you today. Today we wanted to talk to you a little bit about what to expect when buying a home. You know, Steve, the market has changed in the last 2 years, so whether you are a first-time home buyer, second-time home buyer, or a seasoned investor, things have changed. And so we want to tell you a little bit about what to expect to make this experience not only easier, but also more enjoyable as you go through it.
Absolutely.
I think the first thing that you want to understand and kind of determine is how much money do we feel comfortable spending at this time?
As opposed to what am I pre-qualified for? We see a lot of advertisements on the internet and things like that where it says you can have a $500,000 home for only $1,200 a month. What that's not telling you is that you have to put 25% down. That's an interest-only mortgage, and maybe it balloons in 2, 3, or 5 years. So it's really important to remember when purchasing a home that you want to get your payment to what you feel comfortable with your principal, your interest, your taxes, your insurance. We call it a PITI payment, P-I-T-I.
Gotcha. Once you've kind of determined what you feel comfortable spending on a monthly basis, now it's time to talk to a lender.
Absolutely. There's lots of great lenders out there. You can go to your credit union. You can go to a friend's bank. But what they're going to do is they're actually going to run your social security number. They're going to look at your debt to income ratio, and they're going to determine what you are eligible for in a mortgage. And what we always recommend is having a number in mind when you talk to a lender. Hey, listen, you may be able to afford a $600,000 house, but your budget allows you more comfortably to afford less. Or maybe one of the partners are not going to be working in the future, so you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you feel trapped by that mortgage.
I understand. Well, now you've talked first about how much money you feel comfortable spending. You've made that call to a lender and kind of worked through some things and balanced and worked out a budget.
And you've called us.
You've called Steve and Justice from the eSignatureHome team. Now it's time to actually start shopping and looking for a home.
And that's when we step in and we really excel. We're going to kind of direct you on your budget, onto what area may work best for your needs, commute time to work. Maybe you have an after-school program. Maybe you volunteer somewhere. So we're going to narrow it down to your price, your style, and your location. And just real simple, those are really the essential parts of buying a home. You may be pre-approved for $250,000 and you want to live next to Chastain Park in Atlanta. Unfortunately, on that budget, it's going to be really hard to find a single family home. So price, style, and location is going to determine where you're going to end up.
So we've showed you some properties. You've looked at all the specs and information we've sent you. We've been into some properties and you found one that you fell in love with. It looks good. The price looks right. It's time for us to make an offer.
This is an exciting part. It's a little bit scary, especially if it's the first time writing an offer. But there's some things that you know when you write an offer that's really, really easy. We always put a timeline on the offer. So if we send an offer over to the seller, they have a certain amount of time to respond. Typically, we'll give them 48 hours. They can either accept that offer, then you go binding, or they can reject the offer completely and not even respond to it, which is kind of a bad way to do it if you're a seller. We always recommend, as our listings, is to make a counter offer, and that's the third way that you can respond to an offer. So we make an offer on a property outside of Chastain Park. It's listed at $799. We make an offer at $750, and the seller comes back and counter offers our offer at, let's say, $775 or something like that. So then we decide whether we want to accept their offer or not.
Fantastic. Well, in this case, let's say we did decide. We went binding on a contract. Can you walk us through a little bit about an inspection? Sometimes people worry about that a little bit. Walk us through an inspection.
Absolutely. So once you go binding on a contract, we're given a certain number of days as our due diligence. And that's the time for us to get all of our inspections done. An inspection is so important on a new construction home, a resale home, townhome, condo. It's just really important to understand what exactly you're buying. That inspector is going to basically live in your home for a whole year within 3 or 4 hour period. So they're going to test all your faucets, they're going to test all your light switches, they're going to look at the roof, they're going to look at your foundation, they're going to look just, hot water tanks, heating and air conditioning. They're really going to thoroughly go through that property as if they were going to live in it.
I understand. Our inspection has come back. We've moved through that part of the process.
Great.
Now tell us a little bit about, is it time to shop and look for insurance at this point in time, homeowners insurance?
Yeah, so as a buyer, once you get through the inspection period, now you're gonna start turning paperwork into the lender. They're gonna wanna see your pay stubs and your bank statements. They'll probably want blood samples from you. Yes, it can be very difficult. So, but your part of the next role is to go ahead and shop for homeowners insurance. And if you're buying the single family home in Chastain Park, you're gonna have to shop for homeowners insurance. If you have a call already, call your car insurance, get a quote from them, give them that property address. A lot of times we'll recommend that if you're getting homeowners insurance, raise your deductible. A lot of times they'll have a $500 or $1,000 deductible. And if you can raise that deductible to maybe $5,000, you can save yourself a ton of money. And in reality, your homeowner's insurance, you don't really use it very often. I mean, you know, both of us have had homes for over 10 years and we've never had an insurance claim. And the reason being is most people call their insurance companies when something drastic happens. A tree falls on the house burns down, the basement gets flooded. So it's gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage. So that's why we raise our deductible on our homeowners insurance. And there's a lot of great companies out there. We recommend that you call at least 3 to shop quotes. We've seen variations in quotes from $800 a year to $2,800 a year, and it's almost the same coverage. So you do need to shop that.
Fantastic. So we've determined what we feel comfortable spending on a home. We've talked to a lender already. We've got ourselves a couple of great agents. We've been out shopping for a home. We've made an offer. We've had the inspector come out. We have got our homeowners insurance lined up. We are all ready to go. We have never signed our autograph this many times. We're headed to the closing table.
Yep.
And what can we expect in 2017 at a closing table?
Yeah, that's a great question. And closings really intimidate people because they think they're going to be there for hours and hours and they think problems could arise. However, it's really not the case. Our closings typically are 30 to 45 minutes. You'll get all of your closing paperwork at least 3 days before closing to review your numbers and how much your down payment is. You'll already know your interest rate because you've already locked it in once you went binding on a contract. So going to closing, really the most important thing is just to make sure what that lender told you is in writing and that's what you're signing off. We always get a copy of that closing disclosure prior to it. We review those numbers with you, make sure that your earnest money is there, make sure that you paid for your appraisal at the very beginning of the process so you get a credit there. We just make sure that all your numbers and credits are how it's supposed to be, and that's it. You sign the papers. Most of the time you'll get the keys and the remotes and everything else at closing, and a lot of people move in the same day.
A lot of people hurry to the grocery store, pick up some groceries to make Steve and I dinner. We're just putting that out there.
We are happy to eat your food.
We always will. Well, thank you so much. We know buying a home can be a difficult process. It can be an exciting process. It can be enjoyable. It can be heartbreaking sometimes. But we just want to let you know we are here to walk you through every step of the way. It is 2017 is a good year to be buying a home.
Yeah, it really is. We know interest rates are going to go up this year, and to have a couple of experts like us walk you through the process, it really takes that anxiety out of purchasing a home. And our goal is not to make that commission at the end of the day. Our goal is to get you in a home that you're going to love, and hopefully you're going to be there for a very long time.
Fantastic. Well, I'm Justice Haga.
I'm Steve Matthews.
We're the eSignature Home team, and we are your real estate agents for life. Have a great day.